Hello, everyone. Welcome to Exploratory, the only science-based podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Rohit Toda, and with me, it's Bill Noy, the science guy.
Also known as Drew Patel.
Yeah, this is a podcast where we just we disprove theories of science, such as gravity or thermodynamics.
Yeah. Global warming, none of that's real.
No, I'm just kidding, guys. This is Exploratory. It's a podcast where we explore a story and tell tales. We're just a couple of guys. We got some really fun ideas, I think. We got some good stories to tell you. And I gotta say, this is a very special episode because, all those fake sponsor ads that we've been doing? Well, guess what? They finally paid off. That's right. Thanks to all these sponsors, we could now afford a real studio. Isn't that awesome, Drew? I mean, this is like top of the line. Just the best studio we could possibly have.
I'm not complaining over here. You're paying for it all, so I'll
just saying,
I'm on board. So what's my salary like?
Started from the bottom. Now we're one step from the bottom. So that's
Still
very good.
Still at the very bottom, but
we're not as bottom as we used to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We should call this studio something. We should give this a name.
The Love Making Studio.
No.
I mean,
the Love Nest.
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying.
You want to call this the Love Nest?
Ooh.
I was thinking something really cool, like
the birds and the bee.
No, like something like the Foundry or like basically the name of a Halo map, if that's possible. I want to call this like Ascension or something. Some really cool name that if you mention it to people, they'll be like, "Damn, that's a cool place."
Let's just do that.
Let's call it
Cruenta Savi.
Ooh, Cruenta Savi.
Yes. Don't ask me what it really means because you won't want to pick it.
It's exotic. That's cool.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know. What does it mean?
Bloody rage.
I think that describes our podcast perfectly. That is the essence of our podcast, guys.
We're definitely going for that G rating, right?
All right. So anyway, like I was saying, this podcast is going to be very special because we thought it'd be kind of cool to share some stories with you guys about ourselves. You know what? We'll just get into it. You guys will see how it is. If you guys like it, let us know, and we'll continue more of that. Or we're just trying something different, you guys. Got a lot of ideas. Drew's got some ideas. I have more ideas, and we just we make it work.
Good.
Yeah. So starting from that, I guess I'll start off. First of all, just so you guys know, I'm very nervous about sharing this story. It's not.
So is it an embarrassing story?
It's very embarrassing. It's not so embarrassing as it is like soul crushing, if that makes sense. I mean, even thinking about this story makes me cringe. Makes my insides just like I get like almost nauseous thinking about it because it was just such an embarrassing story, and it wasn't even the embarrassing in the conventional sense. It was more like it set the tone for who I was.
You're not talking about your birth, right?
Damn it. All right. I guess next story. God damn it. No. This story actually took place freshman year of high school. Oh, man. I can't believe I'm telling you this. This is... Some of my friends know this story. I stopped talking about it, but now I guess I'll bring it back. Basically, what happened was... It's my 9th grade year, right? And I just moved in to Dublin, Ohio from Chicago, Illinois. So here's me, just a skinny little Chicago kid, just completely stuck out of place from everybody in Ohio, right? On top of that, I'm starting a new high school. I don't know anybody there. And I go to my English class, right? So in English class, we were learning about Helen Keller, and I don't know how, but we just were. And we're watching this movie. But first of all, this movie was amazing. We're watching this movie called The Miracle Worker. It's a movie that happened in 1962. It's a really good movie. It basically documents the process of how Helen Keller, became really inspirational. How she learned sign language and how she could communicate. For those of you who don't know who Helen Keller is, you should know her by now, right? She's
honestly, if you don't, just stop listening and find a different medium.
You should just give up if you don't know who that is. But
Because she couldn't listen.
yeah, she couldn't hear, she couldn't see, and somehow she learned how to communicate. That's amazing. Like, that is amazing to me.
Yeah. I usually give up after the first try, but...
Yeah, Dhruv can listen and see, and he
I
still he has trouble
sometimes I
communicating.
struggle. Like, sometimes I'm like, what did you say? But she couldn't do that. Man, she was smart.
She was very smart. Now that you guys know that we both think that she's smart, please don't judge me for how this story is going to go.
Judge him.
Because it is going to get... yeah, you'll figure it out. So... let me just paint a picture for you real quick. We're sitting in a typical classroom, about 28 desks. I'm middle row all the way back. I'm the last student there. At this point, I don't know anybody in class, right? And we just started watching this movie. The movie's in black and white, but I'm getting into it. It's a great story. I didn't think any of it was funny or anything until this scene in the movie. This scene has been one of the... I don't know how to describe it. It's just like this scene where the teacher who's teaching Helen Keller how to speak, she takes Helen to a water fountain, and she puts Helen's hand underneath the water fountain so the water is running on her hand. And as she's doing that, she's making Helen's hand into the sign for water. So she's making Helen sort of think in her mind, she's associating water, like the actual water, with the sign language word for water. So that's how she was trying to learn it. And it's this beautiful scene where she's, you can see this confusion on her face, and she doesn't understand it. And then the water keeps touching it, and eventually you see it. There's this moment where she gets it, and then she looks at the water, and then she sort of makes the sign language for water, and you know that she got it. It's a breakthrough. It's amazing. And then there's something that... And then she does this thing where she gets really excited because she also understands that she learned water, and she does this thing where she runs home, right? Keep in mind, she's blind and deaf. She runs home, and she runs, I kid you not, straight into a bench. A bench that was placed there. She runs into the bench, and she just falls straight, flat on her face, okay? Then she runs back up and runs to the house. Now, when this happened, I burst out laughing, okay? And trust me, this is coming from a new kid who did not want to laugh. It just took me so much by surprise. I started laughing. Now, I don't want you guys to think that I laughed because of me seeing like a deaf and blind girl falling down. That's not it. I laughed because of the actress who plays Helen Keller, who, by the way, can see and hear. I'm just imagining her, like the day of shooting of that scene. She's sitting in her trailer, she has a script in her hand, and she's looking over it, and it says, like, Helen discovers water. She makes a sign, and then she runs home, and then before she runs home, she just runs straight into a bench, and then falls down. I just thought it was so funny that she's talking to her director. She's like, hey, so, in the script, it says, I hit a bench, and I'll fall down. Is that some sort of symbolic thing? Like, like me overcoming some struggles? The director's like, nah, you just...
Comedic value.
Yeah, no, you run right into a bench. And I'm just thinking, I thought it was so funny that a person who can see and hear knows that right after she feels water in her hand that she has to run right into a bench. And that made me crack up, and I started laughing, and much to my dismay, I was the only one laughing.
Oh,
there was no one else.
There was anyone else
no one else laughing, and keep in mind, I'm the last person sitting in the back in the center. The minute I start laughing, people turn around. Everybody's looking at me now. The teacher is giving me death glares. So she's just like, "Are you kidding me right now, dude? Like, what are you doing?" And I'm laughing. It was one of those laughs that you can't keep down because it's just so funny because you didn't expect it at all. So I'm like shaking. I'm like weirdly shaking and trying not to laugh. I can't. It keeps happening. I keep laughing, man. I can't stop. I keep laughing. I excuse myself to go to the bathroom. I come back and everybody's quiet. Everybody's looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what's this guy's problem? Why is he laughing at this? And even now, to this day, when I think about that, think about me laughing at this movie and just how inappropriate it was, it just makes me cringe, to be honest. It makes me feel really shitty sometimes, but I guess that's my that's kind of what I remember. Like that's my first memory of high school. That's how it started, dude.
Memory. Although honestly, I don't think you should feel that bad. I think honestly, the way they explained it doesn't seem like you purposely were like making fun of the the actress, but just yeah.
Yeah, so that's my story. It's not. I guess it's. Now that you tell me, it's actually not as embarrassing as I thought. Should I do it?
Oh no! It's embarrassing.
Oh,
it's definitely embarrassing. I'm just saying you shouldn't feel as bad as you you were making it out to be. Because guys, I didn't know this story beforehand either, and so he's like, "Oh my god, the worst thing I've ever done," but he's done worse things. So,
oh god.
We'll just
That'll be That'll be for another podcast. That'll be a podcast where if I'm about to go to jail, I will go ahead and confess on this podcast.
I feel like the thing that happened to you, that you can get over that within like a day or two, right? Everyone, when you talk to everyone the next day.
But here's the thing though. My teacher, that's what she thought of me from like just the beginning. I swear to God, she was just so mean to me for the rest of the year just because.
Honestly, if that happened, just start portraying like the evil character, start becoming Stalin the next day, and then Hail Hitler, come in with like a Nazi mustache. I'm just kidding, guys. That's totally not. I'm definitely kidding on that. But
I was just waiting to see how long we could go before you mentioned Nazis or whatever. God.
Oh, man.
Good job. We made it to 12 minutes, or 11 minutes, 30 seconds.
Hey, it's 11 minutes and 10 seconds faster, or slower than last time.
That's very true.
That's true. I mean, like, you were like, hi, guys, welcome to... I'm like, Hitler! But, it reminds me of one of my embarrassing stories. Keep in mind, guys, like, when you're at a younger age, you're about, like, 12, 13-ish, and that's when you, like... Well, that's when you, like, really like girls, right? And,
No, I wouldn't say that at all. To me, honestly, I started liking girls when I was, like, maybe, like, sophomore year of
like I said,
school.
12 to 13 is when you start liking girls.
I mean, okay, you're different. I'm different.
No, but, like, you find girls attractive, right? Like, at 12... Dude, you're in, 6th, 7th, 8th... About 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8th grade. 7th grade. I don't know math.
What do you mean? Like when you're 12 or 13?
Yeah, when you're like 6th or 7th grade, that's when you always see kids in relationships at that point, right?
I do.
And so me and my friend were actually at this place called Three Bunnies. And it's like little waterfall park. It's not like a huge waterfall park. I don't know how to explain to the people that haven't seen it, but
it's a park that
has this like little like just water shooting out from the ground.
Yeah,
and so like kids like that are like, little kids to like kids usually around the age of 12 to 15 are there just running around and like getting wet and having fun, right?
Yeah.
And so I was with my friend and we see this really attractive girl, okay? and I'm like, oh my God. And I get really nervous when I see girls like that because, I mean, like in the sense that if I have an attraction towards a girl, I get really, really nervous. So I look at my friend, I'm like, oh my God, she's really cute. Yeah. And he's like, why don't you just go talk to her? I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm like, I could die. But
she could be a murderer.
Yeah, she might just, like, what if she like looks at me like I'm an idiot? He's like, here, I know exactly what you have to do to get her on your side. And I'm like, okay. And so, keep in mind, for some reason, I don't know why, I thought he knew more about girls than I did.
You're both the same age?
Same age, okay? Same age. But he was confident, so he's like, just go do this. And I'm like, it makes sense. So, you guys have seen those shampoo commercials where the guy like comes out of the shower and like whisks his hair back and it's just like water's dripping everywhere, but it looks like kind of hot, right? So he told me to do that under the waterfall. So she's across the platform or whatever you want to call it, so she's on the other side, but she's like 10 to 15 feet away.
Okay.
And she's looking at me.
And there's some water between you guys?
Yeah. And so I'm under the waterfall, and I'm supposed to emerge out of the waterfall. And
looking badass and just like...
Yeah, and then just like
take
my hands and like put it through my hair and pretend like I'm coming out of a shampoo commercial.
I see it, okay.
So he's like, go ahead and do that. Trust me, it'll work. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, why would I lead you wrong? And I'm like, you're right. You're a great friend.
Oh, no.
So... He's standing on the other side because he doesn't want to. He's like, you know what his reason was? He's like, I don't want it to look like that we're both doing it. I want to make sure that you're the focus. Oh. And I'm like, this guy's a great friend. What a great sidekick.
Good guy.
So I'm coming out of the waterfall and I start doing this and the girls are looking at me, right?
Yeah.
And while I'm doing it, her face just looks like, well, who is this kid? What an idiot. And that's when I realized that he was tricking me, okay?
Oh, no.
So I came out, I did the shampoo commercial kind of move, and she's just looking at me like, what the hell? And that's when I knew I ruined every single chance I had with that girl. And she just looked at me with like, not disgust, but you know that face when you like cringe face? She's like, don't stop, you're trying too hard. Yeah.
Like when you see a car going the wrong way on a one-way.
Yeah.
Or when you see a car reversing when it's not supposed to be.
Right, yeah. And so I turn around and I see my friend, he's just